Well, hey there. Good morning, Brickheads. Happy Monday to you. Welcome to another beautiful week. It is time for some LEGO news and rumors, and I am really excited about this episode because we have a substantial amount of rumors that we need to definitely get to and talk your ear off about today. But before I get into that, I always do like to say thank you. No matter how you're listening to this episode, whether it's on your favorite podcast platform, or maybe you're a visual person and you just like the YouTube page, no matter how you are getting this information, I appreciate it. Just always want to say thank you. I think that's really important. Longtime listeners out there, just always appreciate you tuning in week after week. And if you are a first-time listener, well, hey, welcome to the podcast. Feel free, hit the like and subscribe button if you're listening to the YouTube page. But also, just so you know, I put out episodes every Monday and Wednesday. And so Mondays are always news and rumors. Wednesday, I alternate. So this Wednesday, I am doing a set review. And it's a really good one. All I'm going to say is it's my favorite LEGO theme ever. And I'm just going to leave it at that. If you're a long-time listener, you already know what theme I'm talking about. But if you're a new listener, hey, you're just going to have to tune in on Wednesday and find out more. But hey, let's get into it. Today is October 20th, 2025. And we have, like I said, really a substantial amount of information to give you today. It's all over the place, but it's a lot of things that I think you're going to want to know about. So first, let's start off with Bricklink Series 6. Okay, for the last couple weeks, we have really hit the Bricklink series, the designer series, really hard, and rightfully so. It is such a cool program, such an interesting and diverse program to see all of these amazing designers out there that are submitting the sets of their dreams in hopes that their set will get picked as a top 5 finalist and created into a real LEGO set, right? Isn't that every AFOL's true dream, have their own LEGO set? I just think that's cool. But we got back the Series 6 numbers. And if you had been following that, you'll know for about the first hour of the Series 6 pre-order release, they had the little ticker at the bottom, which let you know how many, or a range of how many sets had been purchased. So will that set make its pre-order threshold? And that usually sits around 3,000 to 4,000 sets. And then back in Series 5, instead of having a set number of 30,000 as their max, they did a variable number, sliding number. I don't know how best to say that. But basically a set could then, based on its popularity, move up to the number of sets sold. So for example, in Series 5, Adventures of Transylvania actually had 50,000 sets that were available for purchase. And now, if you had ever put in a pre-order, you know what you do is you log in, you actually order it through LEGO because Bricklink is owned through LEGO. Once you make that pre-order, it's about a 6-month turnaround. So you don't actually get charged till the set goes out, but it is about 6 months. And so that's kind of the new world we've been sitting in. But the interesting part in Series 6 is after about an hour, that little ticker went away. So we really didn't know how popular or how not popular a set was. But, got a lot of smart people out there, and someone dug into the metadata and took a look at total number of sets actually sold. So they snuck behind the curtain a little bit. I'm going to give you those numbers today. And honestly, zero surprises. I literally called this to a T. And the first one, and by far the most popular set, was the Outlaw Forest Den by Brickhammer. This was the only set where its threshold went from 30,000 up to 50,000 sets, and it actually sold 45,036 sets. So really, really impressive, truly. That is about in line with Adventures in Transylvania. And so Brickhammer, that's a heck of a payday. I don't remember the actual, the price on it. Hold on, let me look real quick. The price on the Outlaw Forest Den was $230. Brickhammer is seeing a 5% return on all of those sets sold. So I haven't done my math, but I bet we're probably talking like $600 to $700,000 in profit for Brickhammer. So congratulations, sir. That's pretty incredible. After that, though, the buzz kind of wore off, and I think we all really knew that, which is a little sad because you always want designers to get their due. But again, just the hype for Series 6 wasn't quite where it was for Series 5. But coming in second, if you will, in total number of sales, again, no surprise, was the Art Factory by Brickster. Beautiful design, beautiful art building, sold 18,916 units, and that's out of the 30,000 total. The rest of these are out of 30,000. Kind of called it that no other set was going to get to the 30K mark. But these are all, again, really good ones. I was not surprised that the Art Factory came in second, only because it had a good price point, but also it's a modular style building that is very easily incorporated into your modular style cities. So there's a lot of people out there that go for a good old fashioned building. So it's not surprising that this one was in second. In third, again, in terms of units sold, was the Gold Mine Expedition by Brick Project. Only coming in slightly less at 17,161 sold units. A really good set. But it's a Wild West set, and I just don't think Wild West sets are as popular just in general. You may love it. You may be that listener out there that's like, Wild West is your thing, and I love that for you. But if you just want to talk about Lego collectors in general, it's not the most popular. I'm just going to say it. It's the reality of the situation. The only reason this set sold as much as it did is because it is a phenomenal looking set and a really well done set by Brick Project, and I was impressed. All right, coming in fourth. This one surprised me a little bit. I thought it might sell a little bit more, but what are you going to do? It is the Off-Road Adventure by King Creations. It only sold 13,980 units. So, I don't know, do you call that a failure? Do you call that a success? It got funded, and that's important. So we want every set to get funded. We want those designers to get their due. But I just don't think this set hit with people, and you can tell in the total number of sales. And then last but not least, and I think this set was really people loved it, or they went, really? Why? It's a little strange. And this was one of those first sets that I'm more on the, it didn't really do it for me. I did not have this in my love it category, but I do know that there are listeners right now that this was their favorite set, which was great. But that's the Sequoia Tree Trail by Peace on Earth. Really big set. It was the biggest set in this entire series. And it actually was 3,187 pieces, and it was $270. So not the most expensive. I apologize. The gold mine was bigger, but this is still a 3,000 plus piece set. But it was these giant sequoia trees. And while that is cool, like I say, I just don't think that it resonated with buyers, and it shows because it only sold 10,288 units. So I'm very glad it got funded. Peace on Earth, love the designs. It's just not, I think, mine nor a lot of people's flavor. So we will see. I think Series 7, I'm going to be honest with you, I think the hype is going to go up a little bit more. So if you want to go in, as well you should, go into Bricklink Designer Program. You can actually see the 5 finalists for both Series 7 and Series 8. And I think those are both really strong series. We are not going to get the Series 9 finalists here for about 3 more weeks. Middle of November is when that's coming out. And so that will be always an exciting time to see who the new 5 finalists are. But yeah, there you go. Series 6, it is in the books. You can no longer get your hands on these. The only way you can buy these sets now is going to be through the aftermarket on eBay. Now, I will say this. When there are not many sales, Sequoia Tree could appreciate really well. If you're an investor, some ways you're saying there's only 10,000 of these out in the wild. Yes, demand is lower, but it could appreciate better than, say, the Outlaw Forest Den that has, 45,000 units out there. So from an investing standpoint, you might have a little different take on this, but ultimately, you're only going to be able to buy this as a collector, as a builder on the aftermarket. So leave me a comment below. Did any of this surprise you? Did you see this coming as well? I'd be interested to know. But moving on from there, because we got a lot of cool stuff to talk about. I want to lead with Speed Champions, which I think is kind of interesting because truthfully, I love the Icons vehicles. I think they're incredible. But Speed Champions is incredibly popular, but it just doesn't really do it for me. The smaller cars, I really just don't have space for them around here, so I never got into collecting Speed Champions. But I'm going to tell you, being the person that doesn't cover Speed Champions often, or hardly at all, the best Speed Champions car is about to be released here in, I believe, November. Maybe. Yes, I think it's November release. I'm not sure. I didn't write that down. But it is set 77256, Back to the Future's The DeLorean. And I think people are going to be really hyped about this set. We obviously have an Icons DeLorean that is a much bigger scaled car. We also have a Lego Ideas DeLorean that, has been a retired product now for over a decade. So for people who didn't want to get their hands on the more expensive Icons version or like the smaller set, they're going to be really excited because this is 357 pieces, $28. So staying at that $28 price point, which is amazing. Plus, you get 2 minifigs. You actually get your Marty McFly and your Doc Brown. So if you're tuning in online, you can see I actually have 2 of them. I have my little Imagination Brick Shop thing, and I have a whole bunch of minifigures on top of that. Well, 2 of them are from the Icons version of the DeLorean. But yeah, you're going to get 2 minifigs with this incredible set. And not only that, I love this. It's a 2-in-1. So you can build your DeLorean from, say, movie number 1, or you can modify it, much like the Icon version set, to match the other movie, either one, I think, or the second movie. I don't think they have the pieces for the train modification from the third Back to the Future movie, but you at least get the plutonium upgrades and all of that. So I think that's really, really cool. Like I say, personally, not a Speed Champions collector, so I probably won't go out and get it because I already have the Icons version. But people who maybe missed out, maybe they're newer to Lego, you've only been collecting Lego for 5 or 6 years, you've missed out on a small scale version of the DeLorean, so you can finally get your hands on this. So it's really cool. Spot on, reminds me very heavily of the Lego Ideas version from a while back, so go check it out for sure. And also, I should note, if you're listening online as a podcast, I will, as always, post pictures of everything that I have. That includes any of these leaked images that are coming out. So, but moving on from there, going from an incredibly cool set to an update on an incredibly weird and still overpriced set. That is the 10366, the Lego Icons Tropical Aquarium. And I bagged on this set last week, which rightfully so. It is a weird set, and at the time, we had it as a $500 set, okay? And this is a 4,154 piece set, and it's like $500? That's insane. Well, the price to me is still insane, but $20 less insane. So it's officially being released as a $480 set. Again, still far too much money for a non-IP set. That puts us at 11.6 cents per piece instead of the 12 cents per piece. So while better, still far too expensive. This is a $400 set. So they lowered it by 20. They should have lowered it by 100, but here you are, the Tropical Aquarium. Again, if you didn't see last week's episode or hear last week's episode, this is a big, 20-inch wide, 14-inch deep fish tank, which is so weird to me. They had the whole black surrounding parts that make it look like the fish tank, but without the glass or a plastic piece in front of it. So it comes off looking a little strange, but it is a beautiful, colorful coral reef. Try saying that all 5 times fast. But again, it's a little empty in its space, and I think it would have just been better had they not include the frame to the fish tank. They just sold this as a big, giant coral reef. I think it just would have been better. It doesn't fit well in very many places. You can't just put this on a bookshelf. It's too deep for that. So you're going to need a substantial place to locate this. But hey, maybe it's your thing. And the other update I wanted to give you is if you're like, oh man, I finally got that Lego fish tank I've been dreaming about all these years. Well, good news, friends. There is a gift with purchase that you'll get when you buy the fish tank. And that is one of the little yellow box GWPs. It's set number 6609248. It is a fish filter, which again is just kind of funny. It's one of your classic over-the-tank fish filters, and they have a fish in it, which is, poor little guy. He got sucked into the filter. He's not going to be long for this world, but yes, you're going to get a fish filter that will actually hang on your fish tank. So it makes it a little bit more real, but to me, almost, it suffers from the Death Star GWP issue in my book, where you get an insanely overpriced set, and they have intentionally left something out that honestly could have just been part of the set. This fish filter, it's 177 pieces. You'd have upped your piece count then, to a little over 4,300 pieces, and a little over 4,300 pieces at $480 makes it a little bit more digestible. But, here you're like, well, do I got to buy it now? Like, if you're actually a fish person, a fish filter, a filtration system, it's like a no-brainer that you should get it. So it's just kind of like, again, I feel Lego is scamming the buyers by forcing their hand to say, you should buy this day one. Because we all know if you don't buy this day one, if you wait 6 months on this set, I think it's going to be severely reduced. It's going to suffer from the same thing that the Black Panther bust did, where you're like, you might be able to get this bad boy at 40% off, 50% off. Who knows? And then if that wasn't all, we have the fish tank that I can afford. That is the Insider's Reward Set. There is another fish tank. It is a little tiny 150-piece fish tank that is going to be an Insider's Reward that's coming out about the same time here in November. Excuse me. Which I also think is interesting because it's like, to me, Lego, you jerks, you should have included the filtration system as part of the set. And this Insider Reward GWP, that should have been the GWP that you got with the big set. So you should have been able to get both of these. It's just, again, it's really frustrating. I don't know if you're as frustrated as I am at all that, but it's just, leave me a comment below. Tell me your thoughts on that. I just think you're going to make us spend money, because anytime you're spending reward points, you're essentially spending money. And this is going to be one of those things that is a reward points. It's going to be equivalent to $20 or $30. And so you're like, do I need all this? Because this is targeting a very niche group of people. And this niche group of people is spending more money than they should have. So just putting it out there. But maybe you're not into fish tanks. Maybe you're just more into aquatic life in general. So I'm going to tell you about the Lego Ideas set. Other official images have come out, and the interesting, again, we didn't ask for it, but we got it. Kind of an interesting set. That's 21366. We finally got pictures on the floating sea otter. cute little guy. You get this nice little formal black bordered base with the clear trans blue elements that make up the water. And you get this little sea otter that's kind of sticking out of it. You got his little head and his little tiny paws and his little back area with the tail. It's cute. And I'm not going to bag on it because this is made by a designer. And so I always love that and support that. But at the same time, I don't know if it's going to be extremely popular again. We'll see. It's 1,234 pieces, $120, so 9.7 cents per piece. Not a bad price point. And this won't come out until March, in fact. So the Goonies ship is the last idea set to come out for the year. This is going to be one of the first ones for 2026, but you let me know. It's a cute little guy, but I don't know. We'll see. March 1st, we'll see how well this guy sells. It's not, again, the hype train for it, I don't think, is huge. However, you know what the hype train is huge for? Lord of the Rings. Yeah, that's right. Lego Icons. I don't know why they just don't make Lord of the Rings a theme again, but the new Lego Icons set, I mean, at this point, we'll just say it. It's going to be Minas Tirith. Oh my God, that's incredible. We've talked about this a couple weeks ago, but I got a little more details for you. I don't have the exact set number. It's a 113. We don't know the exact two other numbers, but it is going to be Minas Tirith, y'all. Rumor has it this is going to be another one of those 5,000 plus, like not just a facade of Minas Tirith or not just like the Denethor's throne room area. It's going to be the actual full Minas Tirith set, which I think is going to be kind of interesting. I feel like it's going to be similar to Barad-dûr. And if you're tuning in on the YouTube page, you can see I have Barad-dûr next to me in all of its gigantic glory. And this is a 5,000 piece set. It is the full front facade, and then the back does have a flat area where you can see the inside pieces of it. And I feel like Minas Tirith is going to be built in a similar vein, which I think is really, really cool. It won't be as tall as Barad-dûr, but it will probably be more girthy, if you will. Definitely jut out a little bit more because, in front of the White Tree of Gondor, you have the whole balcony area of the stonework that comes out to the point. But I just think that's going to be really cool. I really, really hope they do this one justice, kind of like what they did for Barad-dûr, and we don't have that miss like we did with Bag In. But here you go. I want to make sure you know this. Rumors, if they are to be believed, we don't have an exact count for minifigs, but we believe that we are going to get a Gandalf the White, a King Aragorn, Pippin, Denethor, Faramir, and 4 Gondor soldiers. 3 to 4 Gondor soldiers. Oh, wow. That is going to be cool. I really, really hope that, maybe they include some of the Nazgul in there, or, the Black Witch of Angmar, something like that would be really cool to go with it. But we get Gandalf the White, so we're getting everything from Return of the King. And we also get King Aragorn, which I think is interesting that we're going to get a Denethor. Hopefully he comes with like these tiny little tomatoes or something. I don't know. But I like Faramir. I just think that's really cool. But to also get a King Aragorn, I think is an interesting touch. Which also makes me go, if we're going to get King Aragorn, shouldn't we get, I just forgot her name. Elrond's daughter. The elf, what is her name? I can't think of it. Leave me a comment below. Let me know. My LOTR knowledge is waning right now, but it's one of those things I'll remember as soon as I finish this episode for sure. But yeah, I'm really excited for it. Like I said, it would be so funny if they included a bunch of little tomatoes with Denethor. And if you don't know the reference to that joke, go watch the Lord of the Rings movies, because again, if you haven't watched the Lord of the Rings movies, what are you doing? It's literally the greatest trilogy ever made, hands down. There is no argument about this. If you disagree with me on this one single thing, you are wrong. I'm just telling you. Like, we can disagree on a lot of things in life. That's okay. And I don't mind the discourse. But much like water is wet and the sky is blue, guys, Lord of the Rings is the best trilogy ever made. That's just, I'm going to leave it at that. But moving on from there. Hey, maybe you like the Chinese New Year sets. We have, we still have a bunch of stuff to go. Chinese New Year sets, I love them. Okay, so this is one of those things where I'm going to tell you, I don't collect them, but I think they're amazing. And the only reason I don't collect them is ultimately I'm very stingy anymore about what specific sets I get. And I just, honestly, I can't collect everything. I don't have the money for it, for one, because Lego's really expensive. And two, I don't have the space. So this is a great example of sets that every year I go, oh man, those look really good with the reds and the golds. I just think they're pretty amazing looking. But that's the Chinese New Year sets. We have basic information so far that we are getting 3 sets, I believe. The 2 big ones, because we usually get 2 big sets. And that's 80118 and 80119. 80118 is supposed to be a $90 set. And 8119 is supposed to be a $110 set. So again, right in line with what we have gotten in previous years for the Chinese New Year sets. And hopefully there'll be a more scene sets where you get the minifigs that go with that, because I think those sell better, but we will see. We also have one that's the 4864. It's called the Fortune Master. This should be a $30 set. It's going to be a little bit smaller, but something to go along with all of that. But again, I've always really liked them. I love how colorful they are. Again, that lucky red and then the gold. I just think it all really works well together. I kind of wish I just had a little section, a couple shelves that were just devoted to that, because I think they're cool. All right. Moving on from there, can we talk some rumors? Guys, listen, here we go. Finishing off with Stranger Things, Goonies ships, and Harry Potter. Okay, first, Stranger Things. Guys, Stranger Things, Series 5, it's coming out here in like a month. Very excited for that. I am a huge Stranger Things fan. Thank God we finally got season 5. We've been waiting forever. But you know what else we've been waiting forever for? Is another Stranger Things sets. Like, we've gotten some Brickheads, which is amazing, but we've only ever gotten the Upside Down, which is an incredible set, by the way. If you don't have the Upside Down, it is a retired product now, but it is phenomenal. Absolutely great build. We are rumored to get a new large Stranger Things set here in 2026 for January 1st. It's supposed to be a 2,593 piece set. Hold on to yourself. Ready? Here you go. It's going to be $300. $300. That's a lot of money for a 2,600 piece set. 11.6 cents per piece. Not surprising, honestly, just because we have talked about this over and over again here in 25, that 11 cents is almost like the new norm for a price per piece. And then when you get the IPs involved, you get a price hike as well. So it's not surprising, but it still hurts my heart. We'll see. The rumors are that it's going to be the radio station. So there is a radio station in Stranger Things. It's got the big radio tower. So if that's to be believed, it should be that set. But what I really think is cool, though, is that there's supposed to be like 13 minifigs that are coming along with this set. And that's really where I'm like, yes, so much yes. And because, you know, the last major Stranger Things set we got with the minifigs is the kids in season 1, where they're little kids. Now they're like, because it's been so long, they're like in their 30s now, right? So we should get new updated minifigs, which I think is really cool. Should also be a van included with the radio tower. We'll see if that happens. And if that wasn't all, may get a GWP that should go with this, because Lego Icons has 2 GWP slated for January 1st, and to me it would make sense to have one of those go with the modular for the year and one going with Stranger Things. We will see. Like I say, that's what makes sense to me, but I am really excited. Again, it's set 11370. We will keep you posted as we go on, because I would say through the end of November, we should definitely get more, hopefully some leaks, but definitely more information on this set, because January 1st is always a big time for that. All right. And then speaking of leaked images, we got some leaked images of set 21363. That's the Goonies ship, One-Eyed Willie's big, huge pirate ship. Now, I'm a little bummed. It is definitely simpler and smaller than the original ideas submission. Like, the original ideas submission to me looked like a 4,000 to 5,000 piece set, which I thought was honestly amazing. This set is going to be 2,912 pieces and $330. That puts you at about 11.3 cents per piece. So again, your new terrible norm, but there you go. This comes out November 1st, and while it is smaller, it is still substantial. It is still like 24 inches long, and it is the pirate ship. It's got these beautiful cloth sails that go with it. You've got the one side that is the full pirate ship, and then the other side, which is all of the tiny little diorama, like little, would you call that a vignette? Little scenes from each of parts of the movie, which I think is really, really fun. It makes you go, I wonder which way I should display this. But it is also supposed to come with 13 minifigures. So not only are we going to get Chunk and Sloth and the whole gang, but we're also going to be getting a One-Eyed Willie skeleton set, which I think looks really, really cool. So we will see. And if you go out and you buy this day one on November 1st, you're going to get a gift with purchase with that, because that's what Lego does. They always put out a nice little gift with purchase. And instead of having this be a set, something that should have been included with the ship, this is actually a dope additional scene. And it is set 4773. That's the Walsh's Attic gift with purchase. And so if you've ever seen Goonies, the very beginning of the movie is them in the Walsh's attic, and they're looking around, and that's where they actually find the picture that breaks, and they find the map to get to One-Eyed Willie's ship. And so that's how the whole adventure starts. So to have the attic as a gift with purchase, I think is really cool. Plus, it comes with 2 additional minifigs. So my wife's really excited for this one, and I am too. This could actually be a day one buy for us, which is rough, because it's like, the USS Enterprise, USS, I'm just, whatever. The Enterprise D, that is like a day one. I want that one so bad. And so we have that with the Goonies ship. I'm like, oh my God, that's like $750 worth in Lego. So we'll have to see, but those are the 2 sets that we in our household are really excited for right now. So anyway, moving on from there, like I say, 2 final things. One, before I talk Harry Potter, I do want to tell you this. We have also rumors, if you like the Gardens of the World, like we've gotten the Zen garden that has the nice little house in the koi pond that's going through it. That was really cool. The Spanish garden, kind of a little overpriced for what you got, but it had a lot of really neat tiles that went with it. But if you like the Gardens of the World, we are going to be getting an updated set. And so far, it's called the Gardens of the World. We'll see what it is. But it is an 1,100 2-piece set for $120. So 10.8 cents per piece, pretty normal for a non-IP, but again, frustrating. We will see. But this is supposed to come out in January of 2026. So that's always interesting. I do like that Lego is continuing this. I like when they have sets and basically sub-themes that are non-IP that they can continue to roll with, and this is a good example of that. So looking forward to that personally. And then I wanted to end with this. I don't know if you know this, but hey, Harry Potter is turning 25 years old with Lego. That's right. You're old. But yeah, the interesting thing about this, though, is what Harry Potter always does is they release some for 2026. There's going to be specialty things, and a lot of them are usually like gold minifigs, right? Batman has a gold minifig coming out. Harry Potter already did this for their 20th with their gold minifigs. But the gold, I can't really call them minifigs, but the gold figures or the collectible figures, I don't even know if they're gold, for 2026 is going to be included with each of the sets. It's supposed to be a collectible Patronus, which I think is really cool. If you don't know what a Patronus is, it is basically the representation of an animal that is their protector against Dementors. Like that is the spell they cast to ward off Dementors, right? Expecto Patronus, and their Patronus appears, and it, like a stag or who are the other ones? I can't even remember. But like Harry's is a stag, and that's what pushes the Dementors off, which is really, really cool. But yeah, we should be getting collectible Patronuses with sets coming out in the Harry Potter sets here in 2026. Ooh, that was a lot. Like, this is a pretty long episode. A lot of stuff to have talked about. Lot of rumors, some leaks, some official images. Really interesting for a Monday here in October. Things are gearing up for November and December and into that new year, because this is when this is when it gets hot and heavy here in Lego World. So make sure that if you haven't subscribed, do that, because every Monday is probably going to be like this for the rest of the year, because we're going to be getting new and great stuff. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this one. Leave me a comment below. Let me know which one are you most excited about. I would love to hear it. And until Wednesday, like I say, we're going to be talking set review. Hey, you know what? If you tuned in all the way to the end of this episode, I will tell you my favorite theme in Lego. It's architecture. I'm going to leave it at that now. Architecture. You got it. So if you're a new listener and you like Lego architecture, tune in Wednesday. I think you're going to enjoy it. But yeah, until then, I hope you have a wonderful week, and I'll talk to you on Wednesday. Bye, y'all. It's supposed to